Discuss what is happening in South Africa. We're joined now by correspondent MC Ferreira, who's in Cape Town. First of all, it is clear then the violence is escalating. What can you tell us about what's been happening today?
Well, the situation remains very tense, particularly in KwaZulu-Natal, areas like Durban and Pietermaritzburg, which have been the hardest hit. But that's also the home of the former president who was arrested last week. We've seen looting and vandalism continue also around Johannesburg and in Pretoria, and we've just heard that an elderly man was shot dead in Katlehong outside Johannesburg. It also appears to be spreading to Cape Town. There's a number of shootings here in the southern parts of the city, north and southern. Shops have closed here as a precaution because they fear that the unrest will spread to here as well. I mean, this is very much political unrest that's sparked by the former president's arrest, but it's really driven by poverty and mass unemployment that was aggravated by the COVID pandemic and its impact on the economic crisis. But there's also a sheer element of criminality with apparently well-to-do looters in among the rest making off with luxury items. So it's a really confusing situation at this point.
And the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, has deployed the army to some of those areas that you've mentioned. Clearly, that doesn't seem to be enough at this point to quell the level of unrest that we're seeing. What other options does the government now have?
It's not clear because we're also seeing reports that the police are clearly overwhelmed, that in areas like Pietermaritzburg and Durban, citizens themselves have started patrolling to try and protect businesses and homes. The president's being criticized as not doing enough because 2,500 troops, which is the number that he announced last night, were being deployed, is simply not enough to cope with the sheer amplitude of the situation. We're having a briefing starting any moment now for security cluster of government, so we may get further updates as to how the police and the military plan to handle it and whether they plan to deploy more people on the ground.
All right, for the moment, thank you very much indeed, MC Ferreira, for us there in Cape Town.